such an asshole.
We got a great question, which I can only surmise comes from a younger man because he's coming at it from an angle, not out of ignorance and naivete. He's just young, and it's like, wow, it's like a flashback to when I was younger. Like I didn't know. And the question he's asking is the logical one a young man, woman would ask, with old fart eyes that need glasses, by the way. I'm just like, yeah, what if you just don't want to do it, right? Like if you were especially introverts in general, you know what I think introverts largely were? Just people had a higher IQ than you fucking normies and couldn't just, we could not abide your boring fucking bullshit. Oh, but somehow they're introverted. Oh God, I don't know. Maybe they just have higher standards. Maybe you guys all suck. Huh? Is that a possibility? Mr. Everybody's in debt. Everyone needs student loan bailouts. No one can make a living. Immediately, that's a lot of inflation. But hey, like, like if the normal people were right, why are there so many problems, right? The successful people are the exception. I'm not saying that successful means you're introverted. I'm pointing out that what is normal is, especially in the US, is almost always wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. Oh, you hurt, the money will follow. Dude, you're not wearing the right kind of shirt. I'm just going to kill the video. So let's go to the request here. Hello, asshole. Returning client from the Northern Tariff Command. Would like a video response to this. My question is, how do men find the motivation to cold approach women despite everything that they now know? Let's stop. I'm going to read that again. My question is, how do men find the motivation to cold approach women despite everything that they now know? Is it your obligation to find a motivation? What? Who said you have to, right? I remember there was this nightclub, and you gotta go. That's well, the coop. You gotta go. Why? And I went. I was having a horrible time. I'm like, why do I have to go? You gotta go watch the game. Did you watch the Oscars? Let me ask you something. You got information about a product, right? You found out the $500 new console video game thing has engineering flaws. It overheats, blue screen of death. All the games are subscription service, and the controllers don't work half the time. How do I find the motivation to buy some that really fucking sucks? You have no obligation to ask women out. Wait, women, you don't have no obligation to abide by what anybody wants. And if an entire sex behavior on average has become so bad and atrocious that it is repulsing, then don't. Why are you trying to find motivation for something you know you're just not going to enjoy? It's that young because they're good. They're girls. Yeah, but what if they suck? What if it's a waste of time? What if they're just leading you on? And I'm not saying that like, what if to be a black pill doomer? I'm saying that being relatively successful in my own youth and past, and that's just how much fucking time I wasted because that's the thing you're supposed to do. Despite everything that we now know, is it purely based on the strengths of one's sex drive? I mean, pretty much now, yes. The only way that, if given what I can be very sympathetic and understanding with young men, heck, middle-aged men, any man in the West, with what you see on the internet, which admittedly is an overly negative portrayal of women in the real world. If you have a tremendous sex drive, yes, but then you wouldn't care about all the pain and agony you'd go through. I mean, there could be all the warning signs in the world and corpses laid around and, Yelp reviews of half a star. Some guys are just that horny, they will. But that's about the only, and I'm admittedly, I'm painting with a very broad brush, but there is no denying, like, let's look at it a different way. Forget console or video games. Let's imagine everything you see on the internet. Instead of like internet or TikTok or whatever else it is, what if it was a commercial, right? I- I- Do what the media you see on the internet, does it sell you? And it's saying, wow, boy, shucks, howdy, going out with these girls sounds like a great time. I love duck lips girls that are always taking pictures and selfies of themselves and are completely oblivious to what we see. Oh man, TikTok girls. I can't wait to date a gal. They're talking about dating. Look at their expectations. This is really fun. I'm not even talking about Fresh and Fit or the whatever podcast where yes, that is skewed negatively so. But what advertising do you see that says, "Oh, this gives me hope. This gives me motivation. The information I can now do a cost benefit. This would be worth my time and resources to go and pursue such a thing." Where do you see it? You don't. At least with physical products and commercials, they try to sell it to you, but there's no company trying to sell it. And so I think you're normal. You know, it was we didn't have the internet back in the day, right? All we had was individual actions. We had to compile it together using analog and abacuses. That's what it was all on paper. And it was uphill both ways. You guys got the internet. You're seeing kind of the PR department. You're seeing the marketing department of Women Incorporated, for lack of a better description, and how interested they are in going out with you guys. And you're coming up to me and saying, "What's wrong with me? And I don't want to go out with them." I'm like, there's nothing wrong with you. You got self-respect. You don't want to have a bad time. You've done the ROI. You've seen you've seen their commercial. Have you guys seen the commercials for the American women out there? Yeah, man. I can't wait to totally not buy one. I'm gonna go down to the dealership and sign right up. Uh, I'm naturally very introverted. I don't like going out of my way to talk to people. Perfectly normal. I bring this up because currently I'm on vacation with my family in a Caribbean country, and I'm kind of thinking about cold approaching women for once, just for something different. Completely agree. Different culture. And you know what? It's not even bad just to approach women here domestically or foreign or not. But absolutely, it's a good experience to get over that little approach anxiety. What stopped is remembering how fucking unbelievable boring people, especially women, are. And this is my point. Is every man afraid of rejection? Of course. But right now, you listen to any of these talking head idiots on the social medias and the television and all that. Men are just afraid of rejection. They're really afraid of rejection. And I'm not saying men are not afraid of rejection. Well, what I think, oh my God, why aren't men asking girls out? Oh, rejection, the fear of rejection. Sure. And then the fear of what? Put on blast or the screenshotted or whatever. You know what's really, though? I think it's understated and has to be factored into. And I would even go so far as to say this is the plurality, the pluralistic, the largest piece of the pie on the pie chart as to why men don't ask out girls. They have no motivation. There's no incentive. In part because women in general and historically speaking would reject men the majority of the time, about 80%. That's fine. That's normal. That's human nature. So, but you already have like, well, I got to ask out 5 gals to get one date. But then what if you do get the date? What if you are an introvert? What if you're a Arthur Schopenhauer type of guy who just has no patience for mind-numbing bullshit? Right? How much of your apprehension, your reluctance to ask out a girl, whether you're in the Caribbean country or not, has to do with actually the hurt fifis that comes from getting rejected versus like, and then what, right? Your brain, especially if you're smarter, your brain is factoring in what would be called the net present value of your decision. Yes, you ask a girl out, but imagine you without writing it down, your brain is already wincing. And it is not the fear of a girl saying no in your hurt feelings. What it is the labor. And I can even understand women on this. Like, right, you girls are just not that interested in the majority of the guys. And when it comes time to like, okay, do I want to go out with this guy? That's a lot of labor down the road to even get to where you might want to possibly be with that guy. So you're talking like, okay, now I got to talk to someone. Let's just go back to your perspective. Yeah, chances are they're boring. You got to act like you're interested. I remember these were not the good time. Okay, you had so much success dating. I was like, yeah, if you call that success, listening to their mind-numbing bullshit, which is not a critique of women. It's just a critique of normies. I can't imagine what it's like your girl's talking to a guy like, sports ball, sports ball, sports, ESPN, sports ball, bro, bro. So do you like movies? I can see it on both sides. But for you, sir, it's a chore. It's work. It's mental pain. Okay, then you got like, let's just be honest. You're not asking these girls out because you love their personality. You don't know their personality. You do want to smash though. You're pretty sure about that unless something really wrong happens. So then you're always well, I can maybe get laid. Okay, you're now talking 2 minimum dates, minimum 3. I don't want to hear from any of you liars that, oh, if the girl ain't banging me on the first day, then shut up, please. You're lying. You're just lying. So now you're looking at 3 dates minimum. You got to perform all 3 dates. You're on stage. I mean, it's great. It's great if you find someone who's interesting and you actually enjoy their company. But let's be honest, we're talking 1 in 8, 1 in 9. That's old data. I don't think should you do things you're not comfortable with? Yes, you absolutely should. It builds character, it builds resilience, it gives you a story. It makes you, if anything else, appreciate other people and other people's time. Not insofar as that they're boring people and you appreciate them being boring, but like, oh my God, I can't become this person. If somebody, you have to reward people for their time, romantic relationships or not. You must be an interesting person. You don't ever want to become like the girl looking at her phone, whose hobbies include center left Democrat politics, feminism, and girl bossing with her liberal arts degree, where there's not an ounce of intelligence, not even a human. That's a robot at that time. And your reluctance, especially if you're an introvert, which already you want to eschew your average human being. Yeah, I don't think it's that men are afraid of rejection. There certainly is that. The main reason is to what point and purpose? Why? Like, I ain't even gotten into looks. Why are guys asking girls out? Well, in a general sense, what percentage of you are sexually attractive? I believe I have to look it up again. 2/3 of young women and men, but we're talking about the why aren't guys asking you girls out, right? Okay. Well, 2/3 of you are fat. That's number one right off the bat. If your feelings are hurt, go back in the time machine for 4 years and maybe you find someone who gives a fuck. And the Democrats would pat you on your head and some Vice article would be written to consolidate, and you could always read an Oprah book. But today in 2025, we're sick and tired of the fucking fifis before the realsies. Now it's the realsies before the fifis. You're not finding guys to ask you out because you're overweight. Then we could talk about ridiculous hair colors and piercings and tab. We could go all right. So there's that. What was it? Die Hard. Hang on, let me get. Hang on. The man is hurting. He's alone, tired, and hasn't seen diddly squat from you guys down here. Now you're going to stand there and tell me that he's going to give a shit what you do to him if he makes it out of there alive? Why don't you smell what you shoveling? Ladies, let me ask you something. Do you actually think with what is portrayed on the internet, which I understand you are not individually responsible for, with this whole, do you think that sells men to go down to the women dealership and sign off and leave, buy whatever, not to objectify, but to continue on the analogy? Does anything, why don't you say something righteous and hopeful for a change? What's the salesmanship? What's the pitch? What's the advantages? What has been good the past 10 years, certainly the past 5, that would compel young men especially to ask you out? And then we always got Professor Fuckwitz and the talking head. Well, you see, men are just cowards. They're just afraid. Yeah. Why didn't the plane take off? Well, we didn't have a rudder. Yeah, but you're also missing some wings and an engine and a cockpit and some wheels. That fear will always be there. You know what would ameliorate the feel? Some hot chicks. You see a hot chick, every once in a while, there's been a gal I've seen where like, oh my God, I got to ask her out. Right? It's just like, I can't let that one. I'll regret it. And it was rare, but it did happen. Like, don't say this. You're beautiful. You want to go out? Don't say that. You got a boyfriend? That's it. Are you single? Let's get coffee. You don't. I know we're in that stage where you can't. It's been that way for a while. You can't pay compliments. Sorry. Shh. Get in the time machine and go back 5 years and be offended. Okay, we're moving on now. What salesmanship has been done? And there's been none. It's been anti-salesmanship, if that's the thing. I don't know what that would be called. It is repulsive. And I think that's more so why men aren't asking women out, the younger men. A lot of it is an ROI. It's not, the chances are very minimal. Certainly there is the fear of rejection. There's the guy like, God, the amount of work that's got to go into. And I got to sit there and listen and talk up, and you're all the same. You're all the same. If you girls want to be different, like, let's go to the gun range. Like, be like, let's go to the cigar lounge. That'd be a little different. But it's work. It's a grind. Are you girls going to make it fun? Are you going to make it interesting? The guy's only horny most of the time. I get it. And that's exhausting and taxing. So that's a big deterrent. I guess one could argue there's a substitute good called Nebraska. That's pretty easy. You just rub one out and you're done. That's more of a factor nowadays. But yeah, does it really? God, I don't even know if Great America's around anymore. When I was growing up in Milwaukee, Great America, Six Flags, Great America, big at the what's it called? An amusement park with rides and roller coasters and fun. They'd always advertise it back then. They had the Warner Brothers license, so it was Bugs Bunny themed stuff. And you could go down there and have a grand. And the commercials were like, a helicopter shot of a roller coaster, people going down. Whee! They had these things called smiles on their faces. I'd explain something later to you, TikTok girls. And then there'd be, Taz, a guy dressed up in Taz, and Sylvester, and everybody having a good time, and a big old thing of cotton candy, right? That compelled you. I want to go to Great America. That looks fun. Let's go to Great America. Probably still there, I gotta imagine. Is there any salesmanship, or is it basically fuck off? Or you boys could go out with us, and then they have that scroll like a king reads out, and here's my list of demands. And guys, I got a question, which by the way, all these TikTok girls are fake. Guys, I have a question. And then here comes the stupid, insane, provocative question that just makes all women look absolutely horrible. And you girls should hunt these girls down and tell them to stop. But most guys don't think about it. And then the guys are like, I don't. Nope, don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. And so, yes, thank you. Thank you for the repetitive and now very stale contribution that men are just afraid of rejection. Thank you very much, mainstream media and academics and all you other guys out there. I'm going to throw this in. So, because here's the other thing is you guys are essentially being called cowards, which there might be some cowardice, right? And again, I think you should ask these girls out. But here's another thing. You just don't want to. And there's nothing wrong with that, man. There's nothing wrong with that. God damn it, internet. They are putting cable internet in my neighborhood. So it's kind of, but there's nothing wrong with it, guys. You do not have to ask out girls you're not attracted to or are repulsed by. You do not owe society asking women out, going on dates. Sometimes, yes, you might even get laid. It's not worth the price you have to pay in terms of however many dates you got to go out with someone you don't actually like. And I bet you if you were to ask it at the end, if you just sit there and think, like, okay, yeah, you don't like rejection, but what's really keeping you from pulling that trigger is like, what are you're doing math, you're doing the ROI, say, what are the chances? And God, man, I just don't want to go through that right now. I guarantee, I bet you that is probably 45, maybe even 50% the entire reasons men are not asking girls out because what's the fucking motivation? I mean, if you want to focus on the ROI again, like we got online data. Like, oh my God, look, oh, why are the dating apps? Oh, why are they going bankrupt? Because you ain't no dating. There's no dates happening. It's not like guys aren't aware of this. It's out. Girls generally don't want to go on dates. Already a big disincentive to, like if I go down to the car dealership, it's not like the Ford Escort drives away from me. I got to hunt down and capture it. Like, oh, you pay. Here's the keys. Right? If I want to, it's a guarantee I could get a car. Here's like, oh, well, spend all this time and money and come to the lot. Maybe you can wrangle yourself a car. No. I got to work, man. Especially the younger guys. You guys got bigger, lower levels of Maslow's hierarchy of needs to deal with, like food, clothing, and shelter. Now you got to go play this horse and pony show. Go wrangle yourself some wild Mustang female. Like, hey, come on. Let's go. Just for something different, what stopped is remembering how fucking unbelievable boring people, especially women, are. It dawned on me for every girl I walk up to, I'm going to have to go in with the mindset and blind hope of thinking, gee, I hope this one finds me attractive enough. Yes, there's the rejection aspect. I hope this one at least is a little interesting, not to belittle or degrade myself in any way. I know women view men as junk mail, but this cold approaching sounds exhausting as fuck. So I'll tell you the honest truth about cold approach. It's no different than jumping in the water. Like, do you ooch in or do you jump in? And once you just jump in, you get used to it. It's no different than any kind of salesmanship. And I was never a big salesman, but you go out and you send out resumes, don't you? Right? Do you personally feel offended or insulted if Karen in HR at whatever, ExxonMobil rejects your resume? You don't. And it's the same thing here. The majority of these girls are going to reject you. That's just the way it is. You're not going to be the best delivery on every approach in every sales game, but you should be not to a harassing manner, but you should be able to go up to a girl, circumstances allowing for it. Like don't go up to a funeral gal. The widow is mourning her husband at the funeral. Probably not a good time. Wait a couple days. But you should just be able to go up to a girl and start talking to her. A lot of times you should just be able to go up to people, start talking to them. A little weird, but you can do it. But it helps to just go, know you're going to get shot down and know, dude, I don't know how many times I've told this story. I'll tell it again because it's germane. You got to understand it's not them. They don't know. They don't know who you are. All they have is that little bit of information. Like, are they attracted to you? That's the main thing. And what other circumstances and variables can they quickly assess about you? And they're also equally exhausted. What, you think women had fun dating guys this entire time? All relationships fail. They're exhausted. They're like very like, no, I could stay here with my girlfriends. I went to a jazz club. I was in my suit because I was working in banking. Right here I am, senior analyst at a bank, pretty established. I own rental property. I went out and I taught 3 hours of dance classes at a different district, far, far away from the Twin Cities. I came back. I went to the jazz club. There is Vic Valari and the Valari Lounge Orchestra playing. It is a great dance band. There's the dance floor. Here's this jazz club. I'm in my suit. But does it get much better than this? I went up to one girl, said, hey, do you want to dance? Oh, no. Went up to a different girl. Hey, you want to dance? Oh, no. And I kept asking. And after a while, women saw that I was asking every girl to dance. I'm like, nope, fuck it. I'm going to ask every girl who is obviously single and not otherwise obviously spoken for if they want to dance. 31 rejections later. I didn't care. I slept just fine that night. You know why? Do you know why I felt just fine getting shot down all those times? Because I'm right and they're wrong. I'm not saying that we'd all go run off and get married and I was the best guy for them. But it doesn't get much better than a senior analyst. I don't even think I was 30 yet. Upper 20s, younger 30s. Owns rental property. In a suit. Teach a dance class on the side. What do you need me to do? Like jujitsu expert? What? And so once you realize that, it doesn't matter. You almost view it as a, do you really look forward to sharpening your blades? Do you really look forward to cleaning guns? Do you really look forward to cleaning the garage? No, but it's something you should do occasionally. I would ask these girls out, especially if you're overseas, because the dynamics are a little bit different. The girls might actually enjoy going out and all that. So you might have a date, might even get laid. But I think just for the right? Why do you lift weights? It's not fun, although some of you weirdos find it. Why do you lift heavy objects only to put them down again? Because it's good and it builds character. Well, it builds muscle. In this case, it builds character. So I would, just ask the girls out and have no expectations. Don't let your fear. Don't do an ROI. I wouldn't even they're probably not going to be as interesting as you. Yeah, you might be uncomfortable. It's good to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. This is a challenge to you. This is a hurdle for you to jump over for your own benefit and sake. If the girl happens to come along and you get a kiss or you get laid, cool. I wouldn't view it as that. Just look at it as you're going to have to talk to other people. Some people are going to have to talk to you don't know. Can you establish rapport at least in polite conversation with another person, opposite sex or not? I hope this one's at least interesting that I'm better off just relaxing and doing my own thing, especially now. Anyway, let me know how much I owe you. I think while you're down there, ask out the occasional girl. It's not going to hurt. See a cute girl, ask her out. Just get used to oh, I'm a little afraid to jump off the diving board. Once you jump off a couple of, it's nothing. And cool. Then in the future point in time, there might be the girl who's the love of your life and likes to shoot guns and isn't your typical mass-produced Democrat voting girl boss feminist. You're so unique, ladies. You're just so amazing how you have this ability to repeat everything everybody else exactly said the same. So go and have fun. Give the foreign, play an away game, right? You got maybe language barrier or at least an accent barrier. Come on, get out. When are you going to be able to ask those girls out again, right? Are you going back to that country anytime soon? Ask them out. See what happens. See they look. You know what I would do. You're overseas, right? I don't know which Caribbean country, but it's a different country. Ask a girl hey, I'm on the resort. Can you show me around town? If I bought you dinner and just, paid for gas and whatnot, could you show me your country? Could you show me the cool things that isn't touristy to do? I mean, I'd love a chaperone. And there. Heck, maybe you make a friend. He's like, well, I really enjoyed hanging out. Maybe there's no sex, but she comes to you. Hey, yeah, if you're ever in Jersey, I'll come show you the oil refineries. It'll be a wonderful time. And then for those of you who could you acknowledge at the same time, it's not just men are cowards, okay? There's certainly that. But could you also admit why? Why would a guy ask these girls out? Why? Flying Falcon, $5. The ads are shit. The product is 37 octane shit at great cost. Why would I bother? Seriously, at this point, only a fool would do it. Yeah, well, that's another benefit of asking in person is you could see the person, at least, okay, at least they're in shape and are presumably physically healthy, right? At least you knock out, well, I'm physically attracted to that person. So you don't have to do online. That's the great thing is in person, you don't have to worry about what TikTok says or how atrocious the behavior is online. But you could go and there's an individual person and oh, you want to get coffee? And And then, and you could, what's great, you could like, while you're texting, hey, it depends on what you're looking for. But if you're looking to get married, you could just start, hey, I just want to save your time. You a Democrat? Yeah, no, I'm a libertarian Republican, and I just don't support people who, vote to enslave me further. Man. Oh, you got kids, you can go through that. But if, you could almost have fun with it. Like, yeah, I'm going to meet this girl and take her dancing. Oh, I'm going to take her on a date. Like once you don't even worry about it as a date, like, yeah, I'm just going to hang out with this person and see what happens. A lot of that edge and worry goes away. Reen, $5, looking for marriage and kids and a thin, kind woman. Man, is it not a buyer's market? Right. And that's why don't be looking for wives. Just cute girl. Hey, you like wiener dog races? There's a wiener dog race in town this week. You want to go to it? Mark Magana, a real estate expert agent in the field, $5. Dating is exhausting. Even if you find a GF, it's easily 1 year plus before you know how crazy she is. It's just not the money versus the ROI. It's also time versus ROI. And Mark can speak competently because Mark is an incredibly successful businessman. He has tremendous opportunity costs. 1 hour of his time is worth a lot of money, or maybe just time to himself. I wish, I'm not kidding. I dated a lot. I would gladly traded in 85% of the dates I did just to go, not even do something fun, just to go work an extra shift or just to get some sleep or just to play video games. 85% of we're talking the 90s and the aughts, guys. It wasn't worth it. And it sure the fuck wasn't worth all the searching costs that it was associated with going and getting 85% of those dates. And now you got it on full display, right? You got these anti-commercials going on. I could understand completely why you guys are like, that is just not going, it's not possible. Well, they don't want to have anything to do with me. Right? It's not like Iran runs these commercials that say, hey, come vacation in Tehran, America's second favorite place to vacation. You don't see it because Iran knows, well, yeah, you're probably not going to like it here. Real, $5. 1 out of 8 or 9. Try 1 out of 8 to 900. Try being a guy that has no interest in sleeping with a woman that isn't interesting to talk to. It's a wasteland. I don't know what guy isn't interested in sleeping with a woman. Judd Grover, $2. Consider rejection equal to earning a Medal of Honor. Hey, all right. Yeah, I don't know. Medal of Honor. Blue, purple heart. You get a little damage. It's an exercise unto itself. I think that's how approaching a woman should be. It should be considered an exercise unto itself to help you with conversational skills, communicating with strangers, being charming and diplomatic, thinking on the fly. I think it would be healthy. I don't know if it's Medal of Honor, though. Take that, you dinosaur. New guy, $5. Went to a Christian speed. Oh, God. Okay, take that, you dinosaur. You got to email me the story, man. Please email me the story. I love my real life Christian dating stories. Went to a Christian speed dating event. Every woman there was at least mid-30s, and I'm pretty sure no one matched. I doubt I'll never doubt you again. Oh, you didn't believe me. You hurt me, sir. I could have saved you. Here's a perfect example, right? And the anecdotal evidence could change any time. Women could start matching up. Girls could start going out and say, yeah, I went out with this girl. It was a great time. And it didn't work out, but she was a pleasant. It could change. Their behavior could half the population's behavior could change and they could accept. But it wasn't a tremendous cost, right? Take that, you dinosaur. But it was an evening, right? Like right now, after I'm done with all these videos, I'm on vacation. You know what I'm doing? I'm just sitting on my floaty chair. I'm going to sit in the hot tub. I'm going to have some meals. I'm going to play video games, but a lot of nothing. And just having some downtime, which it's too late now because I didn't think about it. But especially when you're younger, I know you have all the energy of the world. Everyone, boys and girls, you need some downtime. Just like, no, man, I'm vegging out. Like at least half a day. I would have gladly graduated in 7 years instead of 3.5, just to spread out and have more time. That that took some peace and quiet away from you, right? You could have had a better night. You could have just cleaned the house. You could have done you could have prepared your estate planning, right? That at least began it. There are go get my book Zero World Problems, and you look at all the shit you got to do in life before you die. You look at that to-do list, and this is what cost you. So yeah, it cost you what? 2 hours of your time at least, right? What could you have done in those 2 hours to tangibly and permanently improve your life? Well, you could have cleaned toilets at your house. Would that not be a higher standard of living? See, you wake up today, you have dirty toilets and no date. But if you just cleaned the toilets instead of went to a Christian speed dating event, you'd have clean toilets now. Prince Revolver, $5. How much is it going to cost me to put on a red nose for someone who isn't interested or just not worth it to begin with? You start noticing patterns. The phrase humiliation ritual, I thought that was a bit extreme. And Paul Elam, you guys know him. He's one of the old timers like me, older than me. I look back and some of it was that. It was this just humiliation ritual for you to dance a little monkey dance, and they were so disinterested. And what I'm confused, ladies, maybe you could comment down below. We have a handful. Why do you tolerate a 3-hour endeavor with a guy you don't like just to get food? Are you bored? Like, wouldn't you rather just stay home? I'd have better conversations with rocks sometimes. And I'm like, well, you're awfully bored with me. Like, I should have just Sterling Cooper one time. He's like, oh, okay, well, I'll turn around and take you home. And the girl was shocked. Like, well, you're boring and I must be boring you too. But yes, a lot of times it was a humiliation ritual for reasons I don't know. Why do you girls go out with guys if you're not that interested? Are you that hard up for food? I never, we're talking. And Pat H10, 5 generous bucks. Do you still practice dancing? Nah, not really. Currently switching from salsa on 1 to on 2. I never knew the difference because it's just bop, 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 bop. I don't remember. You step on 1, on 7, on 3. I don't know the difference. To this day, I don't know the difference. Might do some West Coast swing later on. Cool. Have fun with that. It's like, you don't forget it. I've lost some of my more advanced moves, but it's such muscle memory. And I dance frequently enough. Like, oh, yeah, I remember this one. How the heck? Oh, yeah, that's right. Grab her on the shoulder and push her out that way. But no, I'm kind of like anything else. It kind of ran its cycle. Prince Revolver, 10 generous dollars. So many ladies in my age group want a companion just for loneliness or someone to help pay the bills. Okay. But how if someone is lonely, so lonely you're going to go on a date with someone you're not attracted to, wouldn't you at least be like talkative and like, oh my God, someone to talk to? Like, you're just friends, right? I've never understood, which was a significant, like, we're talking half the dates where it was just pulling teeth. It's like, why are you here? Of course, when you're young and stupid, you think, well, I'm doing something wrong. I'm not charming enough. I'm not funny enough. And it's just like, no, that's how they be. So, okay, maybe they're bored or lonely, but that's got to be painful to be on a date with someone you don't really care about or want to hang out with, or someone to help pay the bills. I've seen that a little bit more. Seen that happen. Ever date a woman with adult stay-at-home kids who have got no, not that old. Although in Wyoming that happens. Yeah, that's you can find that at the trailer park where grandma's 42 and she's got grandkids that live at home. No, I don't ever. Where are you? Are you in Evansville, Wyoming? Where you running into that? Real, $5 to clarify. A minute. It's hard to find a woman to sleep with you if you have the precondition that she is interesting to talk to. Oh yeah, no, it's there is a tremendous market for a woman, and Paul's girlfriend nurse chick. She just came out with a book called Full Stomach, Empty Balls. There's a tremendous market for a woman who can convince women, hey, number one, you need to be physically attractive and all that. That's the first one. The second thing is you need to be interesting. That's a whole other, you're just like, oh, now I'm thin and attractive. Ring on finger now? No. Now you must be interesting. And that's going to separate the wheat from the chaff. That's going to get, if you girls cared, that's when it's going to get the guy of your dreams, is if you're interesting too. No, they don't just find you interesting the way you are. You are boring. You suck. Listen, everybody, listen up. Put your ear real close to the headphone. All of you, men and women, everybody, you suck the way you are. You're not a horrible human being. You're not like evil. You're almost worse. You're just so fucking boring. Right? You are not good enough the way you are. You need to become interesting. So I get it. Yes. It'd be nice if girls just like, well, I'm not that really interested in you, but I find you sexy. Let's go. Like, hey, all right. TV Village Idiot, $2. Finding hay in a needle stack. Yep. Better Bachelor. Mark Magana, $5 for the young guys. If they balk at coffee and pie at Denny's, they weren't interested anyway. If they're actually interested, Denny's is fine. Yeah, anything, coffee, a walk, a hike. Coffee's just great. I think coffee's just, and you have to be doing it anyway. Hey, I have coffee at 10 a.m. at my coffee place. You want to meet me there? Okay. Why don't I'm working and oh, well, how about lunch? Would you like to have coffee at lunch or have a lunch at this place? Well, I don't know. Okay, cool. Well, there's my number. You can text me whenever you're ready. And then and then 35 years later, I can't find a man. And then you had all this coffee and you have clean toilets. Clean toilets is better than a date that was boring. I'll tell you that having clean toilets is better than any single Christian's dating event. Prove me wrong. All right, link below, the book of Numbers, analyzing the ROI in the pursuit of women. Please get that. I don't think I have it linked below, but Zero World Problems. Guys, don't go to Christian singles events. Go get that book and read through it and say, wow, I got a lot of shit to do. I got to get my will and estate done. I got to get my living will done. So if I turn into a vegetable, nobody keeps me alive. I got to get this. I got to do that. I got to clean my toilet. There is literally, dude, of all in the comment section below, you tell me everything that you could do with 2 hours that is better than Christian dating, singles event, speed dating. Like I'm thinking Nebraska, cleaning my toenails, cutting my toenails, washing the scum off the shower, tightening bolts on a car, picking up dog shit. I mean, literally anything sitting in my ass. Wisda, hey, what's up, Wisda? He's here for $5. Unfortunately, we don't see the super sticker, but it's good to see you, Wisda. All right, that's it. See you guys later. Toodles.